It's my Gudgeon tank, so pretty much Peacock Gudgeons and Empire Gudgeons. It's really a holding tank until I have their own designated tank set up, because I like to breed them. I like to breed everything, but that's really all that one is. Random plants. Then I have some of the Lowell's Fish Lab, or is it Lowell's Fish breeder boxes, pretty much just full of plants, nothing in there. And some random fish, I think a couple killifish in the bottom. It was my pea puffer breeding tank, but I relocated them, and now it holds my hockey stick, pencil fish.
Oh, that's cool. You don't see that every day.
No, I love those things. And there's actually some Badis synergensis, I believe is what they're called.
What do you have going on up here on the top?
Oh, this is also experiments. Mini greenhouses. I was gonna see how,
cool.
But I'm growing some, what's that, the mini dwarf hair grass in here, and some Ewan concha soil, just to see how it goes. I have a few different plants, but it's really just, you know, scrap pieces of the polycarbonate sheeting that I had laying around, and hot glued.
Hot glued, yeah.
And then
you just add tank water to it?
Yeah, add a little tank water to it. This one is also an experiment with, you know, for the people that say you can't grow the white stuff, to see if it can be grown. So we'll see how it goes.
This is that new white Anubias that's floating around everywhere?
Exactly.
I've been seeing a lot, but people saying it won't grow submerged.
Yeah, and so far that is true.
Oh.
You can see I had a little long of it right there, and it looked cool. And that's what it turned into. You know, it's growing technically somehow.
Might just need a lot of time.
Yeah.
Did you build that stand too?
I did. Yeah,
looks nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I built it because it was tough finding a stand for this cube, and yeah, I built this one too because building stuff's fun until you have too many tanks. So this was my first tank. Originally, I had built the stand and got the tank cycled and everything, and I was racing my buddies on some dirt bikes and broke my collarbone, and
oof.
I was out of work for 3 months. So during that 3 months, I stared at this tank and, you know, put fish in it and plants and whatnot. But it also helped me figure out that fish breeding is interesting. Well, mainly shrimp breeding, because I had some, what was it, the ghost shrimp, which didn't really survive, but I noticed that they reproduced and had little babies, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. And, you know, move on to cherry, and then I get into different kinds of Neocaridinas, and then Caridinas. It goes from there. But yeah, this is the tank that started all the craziness. That
this is the gateway tank.
Yeah, this is a gateway tank. Exactly. Yep, it sure is. So it's special, and a big mess of plants and everything. It's the beginner tank, so I gotta show it like that.
I mean, it looks really nice. I see like some Gara on the front.
Oh yeah, I got what's that, little panda Gara somewhere. I got a couple of them in there. They like to hang out. But yeah, I got a bunch of Boost and some Anubias, different plants. It's on CO2. When I was trying to experiment with how having a tank worked with plants, because I didn't end up doing well with plants. Yeah, it's all right. I don't know if the CO2 is doing much for it, but it works. Yeah, and just have the Harlequin rasboras, neon tetras. Those are from Petco, and they're alive, probably about 3.5 years old.
Is that a sponge filter down in the middle, hidden?
No, that's just an airstone.
Oh, okay.
It's on a
see.
canister filter.
I see a bubble sneaking out.
Yeah. The plant grew around it, which is kind of neat. But originally it was like behind the rock. Got my Fricatish right here. These guys are breeding like crazy. Well, they all do, but they especially. Any Pseudomugil I'm a sucker for. I have Signifers in here. They're breeding very well. Actually just got some babies that hatched out, and they're I don't know if it's gonna mess up, but yeah, they just hatched out and looks really cool.
Oh, sweet.
The Gertrudes, the RU2s. No, those are RU4s. I have like 2 RU2s, which is just location and has a little more yellowing on the tail. The Rock Achilles, I like them. They're really cool. Been breeding those out a pretty good bit lately. I am growing out a female Killifish for a massive male that I have downstairs. I didn't want him to beat her up too much. So this is kind of like the Killifish.
Okay.
Like from the beginning, this was like my rainbow blue eye section.
This room's where it started.
Yes, exactly. This room is where I started, and it kind of spread over here where I would have like some baby grow outs, and
You started overflowing, and then you're like, oh, I gotta take the basement.
then I got to take over the basement. And that's what I did. Exactly.
I'm noticing like a common thing here is a lot of different experiments and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of DIY. And
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of doing experiments and figuring it out. You know, maybe the best way, the best method of, having a fish reproduce, and the most efficient way of being able to, have them reproduce and collect the fry. Because this whole setup will end up, every fish is going to go downstairs pretty much. I'm converting and still under construction. So this is going to change. Like these will be like fry systems and breeding systems for my chili rasboras, because those are extremely hard to come by. Something I'm experimenting with is, I haven't tried it yet, so we'll see how it goes, but
double egg catcher.
double egg catcher. We're using one of the
That's pretty cool.
The little filters, the double filter things that you would get, and then it'll just shoot it over. But my idea is to have like chili rasboras, the most surface areas I can get for them to lay eggs in, and then all the eggs will just transfer over to the tank next door. And then that water is obviously going to fill up, so I have my little crossover tubes that,
That's so cool.
I'm experimenting with down here, and it works. So whenever the water is being added, it will equalize kind of out, not overflow. So hopefully I'll see a bunch of tiny little chili rasboras in the tank next door. So that's the experiment I'm working on.
That's so cool. Yeah, I got a lot of breeder boxes down here.
Yes, the 3D printer is definitely one of my best friends in this hobby. I'm able to produce so much to make me myself little fry trays, and this is the Lowell's Labs one, so they're awesome. They hold plants and grow the moss on them really well, which is kind of fun. But
yeah, it looks like that one is just completely taken over with moss.
Yeah.
Is there like a certain species that does really well in there that you just leave the moss like that?
Yeah, it seems like so that's the Java moss I leave in there, and I put there's a couple of rice fish. I think the Yozakura Gold Medaka, and then as well as some red chin panchaks.
Ooh.
Anytime I have that moss in there, it's growing like that. And one time I had a trio that was very small, and I grew them out in that tray, took them out, and suddenly there was 50 eggs or 50 fry of them in there. I grew them out to be a little bit bigger and took them out, and they just they reproduce very young. That's what I figured out. So I'm gonna have to start taking them out when they're smaller. They're small, but not as small. So yeah, I have tons of those in there. And then Corydoras, those are, another fan of the moss. But that's not that much moss, maybe just a little bit.
So you can't have the Corydoras without Mitchell's breeding rings.
Yeah. I do have some of his his little blue fry
Yeah.
trays. But I do have, my black Venezuelan Corys are my most prolific breeder. I have so many of them, and I sell so many of them, so I can't complain about that.
Is that box, the square fry box, is that one you've designed?
It is one I designed, and I'm not a fan of it. You know,
Okay.
I was thinking, square would be cool because, ergonomics with, the tank, but, it does make sense. With fish, not really being a big fan of square boxes like that.
Right.
I'm also not a fan of how deep it is in the size. It's an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just don't like the things I make, and I made a double floating box just to try it out to see if, it was going to be any better. And it is. I put like little clear glass or clear acrylic sides on it so I can look into it. But yeah, those are all experiments.
Okay.
think
And
one-
is this live foods down there on the floor? What do you have in the jars?
Yeah, there's the Paramecium culture.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty much 3 jars of it. I had a tank with it, but I decided to use the tank for fish and just transfer the water into the jars, and it's perfect fry food. Same with green water. I have a tank with green water downstairs, just for fry. Same thing with the vinegar. I got some vinegar eels behind you, and blackworm cultures, some whiteworm culture, grindleworm. And that's about it. But
Cool.
yeah, it's part of it. If you're into breeding fish,
Yeah, you got to have live foods for for the small fry.
absolutely. Baby brine shrimp, obviously, and that's a no-brainer. But
Yeah, I saw always have 2 running.
yeah, yep.
So this rack, at a first glance, it looks like a nice rack you see at a store, but then I see it's like a metal wire rack, and then
Yes.
you have like a black sheeting on the front to block the lights.
Mm-hmm.
And I like you have each tank labeled with its inhabitants.
I try my best. Sometimes, my wife is a big fan of the label maker, and I am too. But I just have to write the Sharpie on there so I don't forget what's in the tank. I mean, it's not like you're going to forget that that's a Fricatus, but still.
Right. And what is that black cardboard that's covering the lights?
It's,
like a poster board?
yeah, poster board, like the foam poster board. And I had covered it with some outdoor cloth, like outdoor. It doesn't let any light through. So
Right.
I think I originally had gone with the cloth. I just wasn't a big fan of how it's looking now, with the wrinkling and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's why downstairs I made them out of wood and have them on wood. This worked for when I first started, and it's still working. They need repairs, but yeah, 3D printed little clamp hinges
Yeah, I
for
see that.
each side of that so it can hold. And
Did I hear magnets too?
yeah, I have these little binder clips, and I just have magnets on
Oh, okay.
the side of the.
So the binder clips are
There's
steel or whatever.
Exactly.
So, wow, okay.
So they
That's
just
thinking outside the box.
Yeah, it's a stretch, but it worked.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely kind of, you get to see a little evolution of kind of where I've started and kind of where I'm growing into, because definitely still growing and learning new things every day. So that's always a new development that I figure out and change.
And I see a lot of this is on air. Do you have a central air pump somewhere, or they each have their own?
I do. I have a pump right there. 2 air pumps that were smaller that was running this rack, and this. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much an air pump for each little thing over here. So I finally have it where it's just one for this whole. Actually, no, there's this one for this whole thing. And then I have a small one for my brine shrimp,
Okay.
just because I wanted a little more air out there, and it's at the end. So.
What's in these smaller containers?
Oh, there's nothing really. This is when I
Those are cool.
was trying to get into the YouTube world, and I started a little series called Will It Aquascape,
Oh, okay.
and You know, it's a series with just one video in it. And I escaped this a Christmas ornament, and I thought it was cool to kind of do like a little miniature escape situation and
Right.
see how it would go. But
Is that on your Nezzy Nets channel?
yeah, it's the Nezzy Nets YouTube,
Okay.
which I'm working on getting back onto because
I'll have a little thing on the screen here for that.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. You know, that held a fish that was really small that I was just kind of, you know, it's a hospital tank for it in a way. Then it grew up and I moved it out. Really, they just have water in them and some grass and Anubias and wood. Well, at least this one does. But the other ones are just gunk.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to head downstairs.
All
Let me
right.
pause this. So this is nice. This is my kind of spot, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's this is my project bikes and whatnot. I got my actual one outside, but yeah, this is originally a shop.
And then the fish room overflowed and came down here.
Yes, it did.
What kind of bike is this right here?
Oh, this is a 1981 Harley Sportster. Things like the 1100, which is the iron head. A weird part of Harley's history, but you know, I had it. I got it for $500.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my.
And I love the old fridge, man.
You know,
Everyone has to say something about it, don't they?
well, it's not everybody, but I'm grateful for that fridge because, you know, originally we had our old fridge upstairs, and I'd seen this fridge in Home Depot before, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's old looking.
Mm-hmm.
But our fridge upstairs had died. You know, purchased a new fridge, but it wasn't going to be able to come in like a week or two. So I ran to Home Depot and picked this guy up and put all our stuff in here. And once we got a new fridge, I moved it downstairs, and it became a beer fridge.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's kind of going to become like,
Probably some live foods in there.
as you know, there are live foods in there.
There we go.
It's going to become the fish fridge, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. It just kind of goes with the vibe I was going with down here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old school.
I've got the Christmas lights too. You've got Christmas lights strung up across the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I keep around the borders of my fish room. I've got mine are only blue, but they're like my night lights for the fish.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Because I mean, I'm downstairs in a basement with no window.
Yeah.
So I when I turn off all the lights, there's a little bit of a blue glow everywhere, so that they don't get too spooked.
Smart. That's why I keep that one bulb right there
Yeah.
lit at night, just a little dark light to go. But yeah, I love the lights. You know, I did that little traffic light used to work, but the bulbs went out.
Oh,
You know, my wife, she's a civil engineer for traffic and all designs.
Right, okay.
So she comes across some things and was not stolen.
plus it's like a little bit of
Part of
like
the
like her personality down here
Exactly.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
you know, it's obviously I have a good grasp of the basement, but you know, she's definitely a big part of the fish hobby and everything. But her work stuff, you know, it is cool to have a little bit of something down here for her. So my goal is to kind of have things in sections, 4 tanks wide. This is like the Killifish section. You know, I have a couple of different vanilla panchaks, Aphosimian, the Alberti, the Intuis, those are really pretty. And then my red chin panchaks, those guys breed like crazy. So I have a crap ton of them, but oh well.
These are all 10 gallons
They're all
on
10 gallons.
custom plywood or 2x4 rack.
2x4 rack. I had, you know, designed prior just so I can make sure I can fit tanks on there. It's all the tanks have been previously drilled in the bottom because I had purchased 110 gallons for like $300. So it was a good deal to me. I'll take
I
it.
think I saw that on Marketplace.
Yeah, you
like,
probably
like a
did.
year or two ago.
It was maybe closer to a year ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a storage unit find and 3D printed, you know, bone bulkheads and everything for all the tanks and the fittings for the top, for the drain. And it's all bottom flowing down to, you know, sump pump that pumps it out.
Okay.
So you know, I have everything circulating on with fresh water coming in, and then all the wastewater gets pumped out.
So you have real green grass outside.
Yeah. I would like to create, something more useful for it, but yeah, got some nice grass.
Maybe do
goes
some
towards my peach tree.
hydroponics.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Get a garden.
Yeah, I mean, it goes out by my totes out there, so it's, maybe I could do some hydroponic, aquaponic situation. I don't know. But right now, it's making my grass really green.
The bulkheads, are they, what are they, PET G?
Yeah, I do everything PET G.
Right.
Just because, it's strong, especially for my fittings. I like that stuff. But yeah, I have that, and then 1/2-inch PVC. And then on the top, I have, I'm trying to see if I have them anywhere, but it's pretty much just a plastic conical thing with like grits in it, or grates, keep little fish from draining down.
And I see a bunch of spawning mops. These are all ones you've done?
Yes, all the spawning mops I make, that's, some fish like that one is a thicker yarn. My lamp eye killies are laying a ton of eggs in them. I think that's my preferred choice. I mean, it's really based off fish. What kind of fish you're breeding, what kind of mops, you figure out how they like to lay their eggs. And then this section is the Livebearer section, kind of. Some Pygmy sunfish in those tanks. But yeah, just some guppies, swordtails, least killies, and then some other, pretty much just guppies. And then this section is the Corydoras section. Corydoras and other fish that needs their own tank. Corydoras are a big thing of mine, big thing of my wife's, especially my wife's. They're her favorite fish. I think the Corydoras is really what got her getting gung-ho into the hobby as well.
Yeah, they're too cute.
They are. They're adorable. And then when she sees, how many eggs they can lay on a glass and how their actions are, she's fallen in love with it. But it's also I move some fry that are getting larger into these tanks, or certain fish I would want. Like I'm moving my Gertrude, their blue eyes, about to move those into the tank with them. Got a bunch of the Beckford pencil fish. You get those ready to breed, so pretty much I purchased these and they're small, and then I had them in this tank because it's an open tank, and it's also a good dither for the Corys. But I grow them out and then I transfer them into their own tank so they can just breed on their own and do their thing.
Did you make those little hides yourself?
I did, yes. Those are my little Corridor hideouts. Simple, but they work great. They all love them. I had to come up with something for them because they always need a hide. And the ones that don't, they just are all scattered around and don't know what to do. Some random, I have guppies, apistos. I had those were gifted to me from a buddy. He collected those in Peru.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesome.
One day.
Yeah, I would love to do a collecting trip. That's definitely a big goal of mine. Sounds like a blast. Oh yeah, the Habrosis Corydoras, the Pygmy Habrosis. Those are really hard to find, and I have a lot of them, and they're getting ready to breed. So now I am officially triggering or starting to trigger their spawning.
What kind of triggers do you think you have the most success with?
It's the 50% water changes and doing it like 2 days in a row.
You do like cooler water changes at all?
I do. The warmer water changes seem to do pretty good.
Really?
Yep.
Did you cut it with RO or anything?
No RO. It's just all my filtered water.
Okay.
Really all it needs. I've done it with the colder water, and yet, I mean, it has worked pretty well with that too. It's just typically that water's a little bit warmer than this. But yeah, hopefully they do start laying some eggs in, because I am extremely excited for those guys. They're getting there. They were extremely tiny when I got them. Then this is kind of a random section. Some like creek fish, some gambusia. Then these were also gifted. They're not officially identified, but they're not a swordtail, but they're in the same family as a swordtail. But they're really cool. They're really pretty. They're collected out there too.
In Peru?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And what else? Oh yeah, and there's some whiptails in there that he got there as well. But yeah, these are empty tank. There's some crawfish from the creek in there. Random plecos, random female apistos for them to grow out. And some Oh yeah, some L181 peppermint bristlenose plecos. Those guys are adorable. And that's
I'm seeing a lot of tanks are like multi-use, where you have like more than two species in some of these tanks.
oh yeah.
So you're being efficient with your space.
I tried my best to be efficient, and it's also, you can go like, oh, it's a ditherfish.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it can be, and it is most of the time. But yeah, being efficient is definitely, it's nice. You got the space to use it, then use it.
Right. And you got some extra open space up here. You have plans for up here?
Yes.
I bet you have some big plans.
Pretty much they are, getting ready for more Corydoras.
Okay.
Also, it's going to be like more for where I could split fry into like different age ranges. Really just extra tanks. I mean, it's the same thing. Like the other side, it was going to be a full another 48 tanks on the other side. There's supposed to be like 100 tank rack, but I decided I didn't really want to do that, just because I have some of like Dean's fry grow out system. I got a couple of those over there, and
Okay.
20 longs in the bottom, just so I can have different. I need more space for fry grow outs, because that's kind of important.
And these, like the light shades, are these like the others where they're hinged and have magnets on them?
They are not magnetic, but they are hinged. Like
They weigh enough to hold themselves down?
yeah, I had like these little.
Oh, I see. Like a little scissor hinge.
Exactly, and that works. I literally 3D printed those yesterday, and still experimenting with it. Obviously, sounds wonderful, but they work. I mean, like for
The hinges are 3D printed?
yeah.
Oh,
3D
right,
printed.
man.
What's that?
I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and then I used a rivet, and just rivet the hinge points, the riveting or the pivoting points, and it's the 3D printer is such a wonderful thing. Like I make so much use of it.
Yeah.
Like on so many things. Sometimes I'll forget. Like these little casts with these screws are 3D printed, just so you don't stab yourself, because I did.
And I like that you use multi-material for that. So like it's not just the 3D filament for the hinge. You have a rivet in there.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they're designing something that they want to print, they get in the mindset of, if this is going to be printed, the whole thing is going to be printed, and they try to make like a hinge or all kinds of different things. And it's like sometimes it's more feasible to have certain parts of it 3D printed, or like half of it 3D printed, and having like a piece of metal or something somewhere.
Oh yeah, especially on like
really
the
cool.
load bearing points that take a lot of wear. I did try it with plastic, and yeah, no, like the force I put into some things, it's just not able. It wouldn't. I broke it. I broke it. I broke the first one. That was plastic hinge, didn't work. That's the only one that squeaks too, which is neat.
I mean, it seems to hold up the weight.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking I needed two, like one on each side, but one seems to do the trick, which is perfect. Even though I printed out enough for everything, but still, I'll take the win when I can get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. But yeah, these lights are extremely bright.
What kind of lights do you have?
Oh gosh, I can't remember the name. I got them about 2 weeks ago. They're like $97 for 12 4-foot lights
Okay.
on Amazon. They're bright. It might mess up your films, but
Here, yeah, that's super bright. Let me just turn this down and see if we can get a look at them. Yeah.
so when Dean was here, he
Is it a Barina, maybe?
yes, you know exactly the name. Thank you. Yeah, smart guy. But yeah, when Dean was here, he was like, "Man, these are bright." I was
Yeah.
like, yes, they are. And he gave me some idea of like 3D printing some like little 6 covers to put on it to kind of dim it down. And I thought it was cool bouncing off just him with his own 3D printing ideas, even though he doesn't have one, but he wants one. He's got good ideas.
He's got enough people to do it for him.
That's true. That is true. He knows some people. Yeah, that's part of the covers. I realized, foam was not going to cut it down here. And
Right.
I have a table saw now too. So back in the day I didn't, and the foam was definitely an easier option. So being able to rip these boards, you know, how I want them, definitely makes it a lot easier to be able to make them.
I used to use the big, thicker foam sheets.
Yeah.
And a circular saw.
Hey,
And I'd line it up and I'd be able to use it like a table saw just on the floor.
that's
It's apartment life.
that's what. Yeah, that you got to get done what you got to get done.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. So pretty much that's what this side is.
Okay.
Really just a bunch of all this,
Cool.
and it just goes around. Just there's more.
So what's over in this corner?
All right. Well, this corner, I guess we can start with this. Is a bunch of nothing. It's an experiment, you know. Obviously, experiments are what I like. Originally, this is my Medaka breeding tub setup that I was going to try.
Oh, okay.
All these buckets have mesh at the bottom. There's a power head, filtration, so like all the water gets exchanged by the water flow through the bottom. Pretty much I had pairs of certain Medaka that I'd like in each bucket. They were just breeding there. That's my wintertime thing that I would experiment with. Now it's holding random plants and that's it. Like the Medaka are outside right now in their tubs. But other than that, this is my plant rack that I'm experimenting with as well. Because I want to get more into plants and, you know, producing plants because, you know, plants are awesome. So just different setups for, you know, same kind of plants, but in different scenarios to see what method kind of grows them the best. Got hair grass, you know, I'm a big fan of the dwarf hair grass. So I have tons of that growing. That's really all this section is. Pretty new addition. Probably have this going for maybe 2.5 weeks or so.
I like the riser for the light.
Oh yeah.
Very creative.
Some PVC and some random, I don't even know, I think it's part of a game or something, but it works.
Right.
You know, if it works, I'll make use of it. But yeah, that's this corner. We can go over here. We
Sure.
Go over there. It's, you know, it's left or right from here.
Oh, let's go right.
All right, we'll change the scenery. Here's it's dirty. It's a lot of tanks need to be restarted, but this is my Caridina rack. I've got, you know, some orange eyes in here, like orange eye, red devils. Those guys are super awesome. I love them. I love the way they look. Oh yeah, some black galaxies. I need to cold them, but there are tons of those in there. But yeah, otherwise, this is my Caridina rack. I'd actually gotten this. Thankfully, my wife Laura got this as a giveaway through the Garden of Eder. So we were the lucky ones to be able to pick it up, which is cool. It was all the tanks and everything, and the shrimp.
The whole rack.
The whole rack, the
Wow.
lights, the pump, the air pump up there, which is pretty nice. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the Caridina rack. And then this is something I'm pretty proud of. It's my Blackworm culture.
Right. I've seen some of this.
Yes, I'm using a lid to one of my 400-gallon totes.
Right.
Because these, like, they're not an IBC tote, but they're a tote that Kellogg used for their cereal.
Okay.
And to carry their grain for their cereal. But they each had lids. And the lids are pretty massive. And I figured it would be a good setup for blackworms. You're not going to see any right now because they're hidden.
Yeah.
But they're all in there. They're swimming around.
Will you throw like algae pellets in here?
Algae pellets, yeah. I actually make rapashi for them.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw dead fish in there.
Yeah.
It's actually quite awesome. I don't feel good when a fish dies, but I feel good when I can, you know.
It's got use.
It's got actually, yeah, a good use.
Like it doesn't have to be super morbid, but yeah.
Yeah,
it still has purpose.
It does, and you know, I fed that fish well, and now that fish is feeding my blackworms well.
Yeah,
so.
just keep the cycle going.
Exactly, and it's cool. But yeah, pretty much it's this tray, the lid of that tote filled with like the sharp gravel, and I have a spray bar that I made out of PVC and drilled a bunch of holes, put felt to kind of slow the flow down across, because when I didn't have the felt, it was a little aggressive on the worms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all this is pretty much powered by a canister filter, which pumps the water up into the tray, and then at the back side, I have an overflow drain where all the water comes back down to this tank. And this tank is, just adds more surface area, no more surface area, but more volume to
Right.
the water.
And you just keep these sponge filters just cycling down here?
Yeah, I keep the sponge. Those are extra sponge filters that are cycling. They have blackworms in them, so they're pretty awesome. Once you get them into a tank. But yeah, I plan on filling this tank out with a bunch of sponge filters. Maybe sell a couple here and there for the folks that want some. But yeah, I mean it's extra filtration too. So,
That's so cool.
yeah. Just running off a little pump. That's just simple. Yeah, this is my blackworm setup. And then I have the lid, well, for evaporation. But the main thing is that I've noticed every time I would walk by the tray, the blackworms, when they're eating, they would hide. They would always duck into the gravel. So and with that being said, they're slower to eat their food because they're light sensitive. And once I created a lid for them, fed them, they're eating food in, a day rather than taking like 2 days.
You don't see it, but you know it's happening.
Yes, exactly. And then sometimes I will come by and open it when I know there's food in there, and you'll just see a ton of them just covering the food. And I'm like, all right, nice. I'm winning. We're doing good here. This rack was my original Neocaridina shelf. There's not really any Neocaridina here now. It's turned into another rainbow holding tank, the Pseudomugil Ivan Stoffies. Big fan of Pseudomugils, so I'll try to get every one of them as I can. German blue rams, a big male killifish, some guppies. These are guppies I actually was gifted from a friend. I have some good friends in the hobby, I'll say.
Yeah.
And their babies. Pretty much this rack is a little confusing, and it's going to have more purpose over there. But yeah, there's some panda cories down there, some black tiger badis, aquatic isopods. I like those. They're very underrated. But they're the roly-poly of the water, and they're super cool. So I have a full tank just for them. No fish in there because that's fish food. Then RO for my tubs for.
I like the sink.
Oh yeah, that's
every fish room's gotta have the sink.
Yeah, it's I love it too. There's a 5-gallon bucket underneath it with a little pump in it because.
So is this sink not actually plumbed into anything?
It's not plumbed into anything at all. Besides,
is the water
the drain that I have is right here is too high.
Okay.
Literally just too high to be annoying.
Do you have a sump pump in the bucket?
I have a sump pump in the bucket where it pumps up and goes down into the drain.
Okay.
That works for me, and it's awesome. I don't know. I couldn't imagine not having that sink down here doing this kind of thing. And then yes, this is my 20 long rack that I had. This is the next section that developed after when my upstairs. So this developed first after. And my green water tank for any fry. They love that. Guppy Growout, Luminatus, Pseudomugil Luminatus Growout. It's kind of a weird mix, but it works. These guys are my super prolific black Venezuelan cores.
Yeah, as soon as you hit the bottom, so many shut up.
Yeah.
Can you do that one more time?
Yeah.
There's so many in there.
Yeah. Those do really, really well for me. Getting a 40-gallon setup for them because I'm starting to get a lot of them, and there's not too many in there yet, but once they get bigger, it is going to be too many.
These bottom tanks, are these lit with the Amazon floodlight?
Yeah.
That what that is?
Yeah, exactly. That's what those are. It's just like the Amazon floodlights, experimenting with lighting. As the days go on, you figure out what's the best light, what works.
Did you specifically go for the warmer color temperature, or did they kind of fade? Or
I do like the warmer color temperature, but I was hoping that they had more adjustability with their temperature rating, but they don't. So they only can turn blue and red.
From this angle, they look really cool.
Well, thanks. I mean, they do the job. They get it done, and I really can't complain anything about them. Yeah, so I got my gardener eyes. That's the Growout tank. Now they're adults. I need to get rid of those. Another Growout for my Pseudomugil signifers. Those are doing amazing. Mexican dwarf crayfish. Breeding those, got lots of those going. That's in this tank, and then this one has more of the Herbrosis cories.
Right.
And some of the L397, the Allen Curd zebra plecos, the tiger plecos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And
Is that just moss has just gone crazy in there?
Yeah, it's spiky moss. It has just gone crazy, and I've trimmed it up.
It's awesome.
I love it so much. But I have sold so much of this, and it doesn't go away, which is awesome. It's my favorite moss, as well as flame moss and spiky moss. They're just so fun. And then I have a baby pistos in my green water tank. Not green, it's green water, but it's not supposed to be. But
it happens.
The fry love it, and I'm not going to make any huge drastic water change, on it, so I don't hurt the fry. But I have probably over 100 fry in there, and they're all thriving. So they're getting ready to be transferred over to the tank next door, because the dad's in his own container still, because he's not ready to be out there with all the babies and the mom. Yeah, so that's this side.
Well, I guess we're gonna go left now.
All right, and here is the other side of that rack. So yeah, pretty much like I was saying earlier, I didn't want to do all 48 10-gallon tanks on this side. I do like the idea of having kind of like a little work desk space.
Right.
And I've found it to be extremely useful. But also being able to have my fry trays, little fry systems down here is even more useful to me than having just more 10-gallon tanks. I can just put a bunch of fry in there. And that killifish, I honestly have no clue how I got in there.
He just snuck in.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's pranking me right now, because I don't know. It's big.
Was it like a fry that somehow slipped out, or maybe it was on?
I feel like it looks too old to be part of this system. That by the time I've had this set up, I probably had this set up for maybe 3 weeks. I would, it doesn't look like a 3-week-old fish.
Right. Yeah. No way.
So that's a mystery of mine.
So you're saying this is like the Dean style fry rack?
It is, yes. I've got two tanks with it, with the pump, and it all does drain down and have air. It's awesome. Like, it really, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And, his method is definitely a good way, and it's efficient. And
so one of those PVC manifolds is air, and the other one's water.
Exactly.
And you pump the water up through.
Yeah, through the little pump, and it drains out the other side. All the extra pressured water comes outside and just circulates, and it's typically there is a sponge filter in there, and I have a sponge filter in this one, but no, this one's just cycling still. There's no fry in there except that guy, and then this one is my killifish fry grow, I guess you could say. It's dedicated for the killies, and I have a bunch of tiny little babies and everything, so the system's awesome. But yeah, this is really going to be fry grow outs, discus fry grow out / experiment situation. Obviously these tanks are not set up, but that's just because I'm always working.
Yeah.
There's always something happening every day, so they're all getting set up. This will be my rainbow row.
Soon to come
rainbow row, like Mario Kart over here, the rainbow road. But blue eyes, all my Pseudomugils are going to be in this section.
Oh wow.
Those are my favorite. Those are the ones I like to focus a lot on. And then any tanks that I need. Having extras that you don't really have a plan for yet, it's always good.
So I see, like, so these are all the 100 or the 10s. So did you used to have 20s? Like you had rows of 20s and then you got that deal with all the 10s and so you're swapping out, or is it space?
This one is, I designed this whole rack to hold the 110 gallons. But as I was building it and putting it together, I was just thinking like, oh, this is actually going to be more useful for me if I don't fill it all out with 10 gallons the whole way. And then this tank is, it's a Growout for 3 Discus. They're the King Viper Discus. They're really, their parents aren't very good parents, and they will always eat their fry, no matter what I try. So I'm going to start raising them artificially. They actually just laid eggs today, so I'll be pulling that cone out. And we go on, and my saltwater tank, I set up with a buddy of mine, and very quickly, actually, he's a saltwater guy, and he's confident about it also. I made my own sump, with an extra 10 gallon that I had outside, and
I see the bulkheads there on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, and had an extra 20 gallon, and pretty much everything was, didn't cost much at all. But yeah, it's on one of my old Craftsman rolling carts.
Mm-hmm. I like that too. Yeah.
It works. I mean, it works. It's what I used.
Yeah. The GSB is starting to light up too.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's there's a big clump of that stuff right there.
What kind of zoas?
There's a few different. So like my buddy's hooking me up with pretty much everything in here.
Okay.
I got to remember the names. Like saltwater is a very new thing to me.
Yes, I'm the same boat.
Like this is my first saltwater tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still learning. I know there's I think Bam Bam is the name of a Zoa. Yeah, that's all I can remember. There's other names, but
all right.
He's given me probably like 7 different Zoas. And then this rack is really a new addition as well. My 20s. My L181. Peppermint bristlenose pleco breeding tank. Have a bunch of the Gudgeons. Got 3 different kinds. And then the Carry Blue, the Emperor Tetras.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And then some of those Tatia Intermedia fry. Those are growing out. Helping a buddy grow those out. And the mascara barbs, which I'm selling all my mascara barbs off on Tuesday, so those no longer be with us.
Going to a new home.
They're going to a new home, a good home. And then
let's see the elephant in the corner of the room over here.
Yeah. It's definitely an elephant in the room. It's my discus rack. So pretty much all the discus on the top are pigeon bloods, different generations, and those are the parents. But I have, I have 2 confirmed breeding pairs of discus, and these have bred, so they're technically confirmed, but they're not really laying any eggs right now. But these guys are. So these are the ones I was just talking about, the King Vipers. They're bad parents.
Yeah, but they're so pretty.
They're so pretty. And I am definitely excited to get them because they had just laid eggs today. And I am looking forward to trying that method I just learned.
I don't know. The size might not be showing through on the camera. These things are huge.
Yeah, they're big. I don't have small hands, I guess, for reference. They're looking for food. I guess I'll give them a little. There you go. Now the babies are, these guys are.
They're not shy at all.
No.
How long have you been breeding discus?
This is fairly new, actually.
It seems to be pretty successful.
Actually picked up some of these discus from a guy in Virginia who was getting out of the hobby. And I'll give you the others later. But yeah, I had purchased these discus, and yeah, he had actually, like, these were what he already had. And so I'm still growing them out and all that, but
I like, you could hear just the little clicks of them smacking the surface.
That's my favorite thing. And I'm not sure if it's easy to capture, but it's...
It can be. I'm going to drop my magnet, though. I think that's picking it up.
I hope. Yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah, the sound is fun.
I love it.
But yeah, the discus are actually doing pretty well for me. Like them, I'm glad to be one of the discus guys and getting them breeding. It's really fun. It's been very rewarding. Definitely becoming one of my favorite fish. Didn't expect that, but
I've always thought they look pretty, but these king vipers are something else.
yeah, they are awesome.
A lot of people talk about how discus are super picky with their water.
Oh, yeah.
What's your experience with that?
It's these guys are on filtered tap water. No RO. I mean, I have pretty soft water here as is already. But yeah, I have everything filtered and coming through automatic water changes, so like daily water changes. But really, you don't have to. There's nothing too crazy. You don't have to be as scared.
You're not buffering it or anything?
No, nope, not at all. Like, there's really no need for any of that with these guys. They're doing just fine, and they're breeding.
And I see all these have heaters in them, so
Yes,
what do you keep it at, like
warm.
80?
About 80, 85. Some of the fry I'll keep at 86.
Okay.
Especially the smaller ones, just so they can grow up a little bit quicker. But definitely mid 80s. But yeah, they're definitely, you can keep them. You just keep the water changes. Other than that, they're not scary at all.
So that's your advice to people that want to get into discus? Just keep water changes consistently?
Yeah, keep on top of the water changes. They like clean water. Clean water is important. It doesn't have to be RO. It doesn't have to be... You don't have to stress too much about it. Just clean water. This is the biggest thing, making sure the water is warm. If you're noticing anything weird, salt is usually a great treatment for them. I've recovered one of them because that's the only one that had an issue. I have one down there that had a little weirdness going on, and a little salt did the trick. So yeah, don't stress too much about them. They're a lot of fun, and the way they look at you is also fun, because they have like such little personalities to them. They're definitely very, very fun. I love discus. Definitely a newer thing for me. I would say probably 5 months or so. But they're doing great.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was just the transport was a little interesting, because I had to bag every single discus and then put a few of these together, make sure that they're all in perfect condition. But then again, I realized I didn't have to stress because I'm the one that was handling the shipping, so everything was good. But yeah, so that's my discus, and I'm actually expanding. I'm gonna have like more of discus set up. Like when I'm coming down, it's gonna eventually carry over throughout the basement. But
okay. You put your hand up, they all went up to the top again.
Yeah, where's all the food, Dag?
Love it.
Yeah, they ate that quick. And then I got some Shelleys, some multifasciatus.
Yeah, I was looking at these guys.
Yeah, that's their tank. They're neat. They're they're getting a little more popular, but nice.
How often do the mascara barbs spawn for you?
Oh, I mean, they're spawning all the time. If I just was, if I would remove the rocks towards the center, I would have better luck.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are they dropping in the rocks or in the
Yes.
pot?
They're dropping in the rocks,
Okay.
but they like to focus around that middle section a lot,
Yeah.
and who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a couple in the pot. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe once I pull them out to sell, they'll see a bunch of little babies in there after.
Mm-hmm.
I would be happy about that.
Okay.
But if not, then I have another tank for some discus. Maybe not. I prefer to put discus in white tanks, technically.
Yeah, that's what I've seen mostly.
And I experimented with some of these in a darker tank, and they get a lot of the peppering, on their bodies and all, and it just looks kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I veto that idea of putting discus in that dark tank. But they definitely look better in the white. They develop more color. And,
I mean, those king viper are just stunning.
I know.
Those colors are. I hope I can get it in the B-roll how amazing they look.
I hope so too. Let the people see how awesome they are, because they're beautiful. Yeah, and they lay eggs probably once a week.
Oh, okay.
And it's the first ones you fail, and give them another chance to be a good parent, and they failed again. It's like, all right, here's your last chance, and they failed again. So now I got to start raising them artificially because they're just so beautiful.
I see.
And now I have 3. I need this many of them.
These lids, these are the sliding lids.
Yeah.
Is this like the corner molding?
It is. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like, it's insane how simple it is. But it's so, I mean, it's a game changer to me as well, having the glass lids. Because I definitely started with the polycarbonate for a lot. And I
still got a lot of it.
I still have a lot of them. That's all the lids on those. But for these, I had the glass for it in the rails, so it was perfect.
Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner too. I'm about to do a lot of mine in glass like this.
It is definitely, cleaner looking for sure. It's got it set up for the 40 on the bottom right for the mascara barbs, and that one was originally a polycarbonate lid too. And
oh, so it's a sliding on the 40?
yeah, not the left one, but that one right here.
Yeah, I see.
It does also slide, which is great.
Yeah, it doesn't sag too much because it rests on the other piece.
Yes, exactly.
Well, is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
And people can find you on Nezzy Nets on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, Nezzy Nets, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm dabbling a little bit with TikTok, but
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it works. But you find me anywhere.
All right. Well, thanks for bringing me in.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. It's great having you.